What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kaori's Corner. Remember, it's always suggested by you, reviewed by me. And today we are talking about a suggestion of Mystery Incorporated. When I tell you there is no Scooby-Doo show that is touching Mystery Incorporated, there's just not. Mystery Incorporated is fucking god tier, okay? So essentially, if you've never seen Mystery Incorporated, I'm just gonna shorten the version for you, okay? So it has the mystery gang, and of course they're solving mysteries in Crystal Cove, which is the most haunted place on Earth, and they're revealing a lot of the townspeople, and some people who are not necessarily townspeople are behind a lot of the things. And the main story is they find out about the original Mystery Incorporated and that they had all disappeared. And up until this point, Fred thought that the mayor was his father, and it turns out that he wasn't. His real parents were Brad and Judy from the original Mystery Incorporated. Their friend, Angel Dynamite, who helps them with things, was actually Cassidy Williams, who was also part of the original Mystery Incorporated. And they have occasionally gotten help from Mr. E, who also turned out to be part of the original Mystery Incorporated. And at one point, he and Cassidy Williams were like kind of a thing. Well, they liked each other. And they are trying to find these pieces of this ancient thing that they found called the planispheric disc. They're going up against the evil Professor Pericles, who turned evil because of the original Mystery Incorporated. And the very next season, they did end up breaking up, getting back together. It took Daphne a couple episodes to come back. Up until that point, they had Marcy, aka Hot Dog Water, as part of their team. Then they literally kicked her out. Turns out Brad and Judy were villains. The original Mystery Incorporated, minus Cassidy, who got killed in one of the episodes, are quite literally trying to kill this group of children for pieces of the planispheric disc. They do find all of the pieces. They have the whole planispheric disc. They're trying to decipher it, and it turns out that they're looking for a dark entity so that they can seek and destroy it. And they do end up destroying the dark entity, and it pushes them out of their main time stream into a new time stream where they meet the new mystery and decide to solve new mysteries. Now, just a breakdown of the characters. Fred is dumb, okay? But Fred likes traps. Matter of fact, he's obsessed with traps. Now, we all know that Fred is our trap guy. He's always been the trap guy, and they really actually, in this series, made it his personality. It was always, let's split up, gang, and it's time for a trap, right? So they made traps his personality, and at this point, he does not know how to express his feelings without talking about traps. And then, he has feelings for Daphne, but he can't say them, straight out say them. And that causes a rift in their relationship and the friendship, really. Because at one point, they are engaged. They keep it away from the group up until the very last episode, when he finds out that the mayor is not his father, and that his father or his parents were part of the original Mystery Incorporated. And he breaks off their engagement to go look for them. And then when they bring him back, he still has these really strong feelings for Daphne, but he can't seem to express them really well. But then she's in a relationship with this celebrity, and she doesn't want to come back to Mystery Incorporated because, one, it'll be too hard, especially since he quite literally just up and left. And two, she can't seem to get his feelings, him to express his feelings. Girl, do I know how that goes? Anyway, and Fred does kind of lose a little bit of confidence in himself when it comes to not having Daphne around. And when he's in his element, he's in his element. In season 2, when they are going through the gate, he's thinking using that fucking brain of his, actually. And he puts these things together. So his character development over the 2 seasons, great. Daphne, stand up, girl, because listen, the entire first season, Daphne spent absolutely in love with this man. And she was not, those feelings were not being reciprocated. Like, he kept calling her his friend. Like, he friend zoned her the entire season. And it's like she wasn't getting it. And she couldn't get it because she was just so in love. And I understood where, I understand where you're coming from. We've all been stupid in love in high school, right? I got you. But at some point in time, girl, get up. Get up. She wasn't the damsel in distress, though. Like, she was a couple of times because they knew that that's how they could get to Fred. But in reality, she really wasn't damsel in distress like she usually is. And I was really impressed by that. And she had a lot of smart things to say. A couple of times, she had to fucking get them motivated on her own. Especially in season 2, when there was something going on with an artist. And he wanted unconventional people. And he basically like blew Daphne off, and Daphne ended up essentially solving that by herself. The girls had a lot, like huge roles here, because her and Velma actually ended up solving one by themselves as well, because the guys were being stupid, right? So when she got into season 2, she started standing up for herself, right? After he broke off the engagement. And then she fell back into that, still in love with him thing, but she was standing up for herself still. She stood 10 toes down for what she really wanted. And at the end of the day, she got what she wanted, which was Fred. Velma, in the first season, I needed her to stand up too. Her being in love with Shaggy is not out of the ordinary. It's just not. However, she kept trying to change Shaggy, which was weird. Daphne didn't try to change Fred, and I think that that's why that worked. She knew his obsession with traps. Did it annoy her? Hell yeah, it annoyed the fuck out of me. I'm asking you a question, you're talking about traps. So, it annoyed her, but she never tried to change Fred. Velma tried to change Shaggy, do like a full 180, and it just wasn't working, mainly because he's had this bond with Scooby. And he didn't want to mess that bond up, but he also did care about Velma. But I felt like he cared about Velma and liked Velma at that time, but he didn't want to commit to anything. And she kept trying to make him commit to something that he clearly was not ready for. And at the end of the day, he chose his dog over her. And I knew that was going to happen when I first saw this shit back in 2009. Because why are you making him choose between the dog that he's had since he was a puppy, that he's grown up with, grown close with, known much longer than you? Why would you make him choose between the dog and you? Crazy. Absolute nonsense. Shaggy did some growing as well. But before we get to Shaggy, but Velma, after everything that happened with season 1 and the gang literally split, Shaggy got sent to military school, Scooby got sent to a fucking animal prison, Daphne went elsewhere, into her reclusive state until she started dating that celebrity Baylor Hotner, sorry, and Fred just left. She was quite literally by herself, and she befriended Marcy, aka Hot Dog Water, who was a villain at one point in time, but her and Hot Dog Water ended up working with Mr. E. They ended up getting closer, becoming friends, and she's the one who had Hot Dog Water as part of the Mystery Incorporated gang for, I think, 3 episodes, 3 or 4. And she did want to keep Hot Dog Water as, part of the crew, but the crew was just like, no. I feel like they probably should have, but whatever. And then Shaggy did have some, development. He ended up starting to like a girl, which was weird because you had someone there who was like, but of course, when you guys have been friends for as long and you're seeing that person as a friend, it's kind of hard, and all you see them as is a friend, it's kind of hard to break out of that and think of them romantically, especially after you've chosen your dog over them. Honestly, at the end of the day, it just kind of felt like everybody was doing a lot. Scooby was the same as always. His beef with Velma was absolutely hilarious, but his even bigger beef with Bronson Stone was so fucking funny. And everybody realizing that Scooby is a talking dog is probably my favorite part, because it kind of almost felt like nobody else acknowledged that in the other shows that Scooby could talk. So them acknowledging that Scooby can talk, hilarious. I love that whole entire thing. He ended up getting a girlfriend for a little while, up until she was possessed by a spirit and then disappeared. Marcy is one I do want to talk about as well. So Marcy, or Hot Dog Water, them calling her Hot Dog Water because she smells like hot dog water is crazy. When she was helping her father with his amusement park and it was shutting down, she became like a evil manticore and she was a villain. And then she became a villain again because she was still working with Mr. E in season 2. And she but Velma let her go. And because Velma let her go, she was like, here's this information. So her and Velma definitely could have been in game honestly, at the end of season 2, when they slipped the time stream and went into a new timeline. I believe they were a couple very briefly before the squad just quite literally left town. This Mystery Incorporated got very intense. The deaths of people was absolutely insane to me. Prominent characters, actually. Angel Dynamite, who is played by Vivica Fox, sacrificing herself is iconic to me. So Angel Dynamite was helping them, and she knew who Mr. E was, and she knew that Brad and Judy were Fred's parents. All of this, but she also knew that she didn't tell them that she was part of the original Mystery Incorporated. Now, if the gang had actually read the room, they would know that her saying that she was actually Cassidy Williams probably would have gotten her killed by Professor Pericles. Right? And when Professor Pericles did get out of jail and was talking to her, he knew exactly who she was. And she was trying not to get herself fucking killed. The gang got mad because she lied to them. Vilma getting mad was so odd to me because I told you the truth. You caught me. I told you the truth and you kept it a secret because I asked. And then when the whole thing was revealed, you were still mad. Even though you knew why, you were still mad, and then everybody kind of just walked out on her. And it wasn't until she sacrificed herself that everybody was just like, oh my gosh, Cassidy. Nah, fuck that. I had to protect you. I tried. And I couldn't tell you why, because that would have put my life, your life in danger as well. They didn't seem to understand that. And that was like the thing with working with teenagers. A lot of times teenagers just want to be mad at stuff, and that's fine. But being mad because I tried to save your life, crazy. They tried to kill these kids. Like, this wasn't, oh, I'm gonna chase you down the hallway. They quite literally, every episode that they were going up against somebody, they tried to kill these children. And fucking succeeded in killing Hot Dog Water. Now, Hot Dog Water was very close with Velma. She considered Velma her only friend. So when everything was happening with the planispheric discs and they were opening the gates and everything, Pericles and the original Mystery Incorporated had Hot Dog Water hostage. Now, yeah, the one who played Mr. E, Ricky Owens, he did have a problem with how everything was going because he did build Destroido from the ground up, right? That was his shit. And Pericles came in. Pericles, Brad and Judy came in like fucking tanks at this point. And they had these like German robot soldiers with machine guns and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. And Ricky had a problem with him and his thing with having to kill the children, right? It was weird. Your beef with teenagers is crazy. Beef with the adults, right? So he poisoned Ricky to have him under his control. Okay. When they had Hot Dog Water in their possession, And Hot Dog Water grabbed Pericles and was like, you guys go ahead, I will hold them off as long as I can. Brad and Judy attacked that girl. And she was down on the ground. And they brought 2, not 1, but 2 of those German robot soldiers with machine guns and shot that girl to death. Now, the gunshots were loud, but the only one who really heard it was Scooby. When he started whining, Velma knew what the fuck was up. And she was just like, we gotta go. When I tell you my heart was absolutely broken because she is a child. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? When Cassidy Williams sacrificed herself, she was in there. She had to let them escape. She had to hold the escape latch. And those German robot soldiers came in and probably got several rounds off on her before that place just fucking exploded. Are y'all okay? Vincent Van Gogh being in here was really fun. All of the episodes are amazing and really fun. 10 out of 10 on the show, period. Like, there is absolutely nothing else like it. I don't know. And I honestly and truly enjoyed every minute of this. It came out in 2009. I hadn't seen it in its entirety. I didn't even know that they killed Hot Dog Water up until somebody said it on Facebook, and I was like, what? Isn't she a child? And when they went and fixed the time stream, and one of the authors that they had met, Harlan Ellison, became the new Mr. E and was like, look, I'm outside of the time stream and so are you. So I remember every timeline and I know you. There's a bunch of mysteries that needs to be solved and I need you. Lots of meddling to do. Because they were disappointed that, there were not going to be any more mysteries in Crystal Cove. But there were mysteries elsewhere. If you have not seen the show, it's an amazing show, honestly. It is such a fun watch, and I 100% recommend all of it. But that is it for this episode of Kaori's Corner. Remember, as always, suggested by you, reviewed by me. Bye.